They don't scream. They don't hit. They just make you question your own mind, slowly, quietly, completely. This is gaslighting. Gaslighting. It's one of those words we hear everywhere, in relationships, at work, even in politics. But most people can't really explain what it feels like until it happens to them. At its core, gaslighting isn't about anger or arguments. It's about control. It's the quiet art of rewriting someone's perception of reality, until they start to doubt their own memory, their emotions, and eventually, themselves. The term comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband slowly manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind. He dims the lights, hides objects, denies what she sees, and she believes him. But gaslighting didn't stay on screen. It became a real-world psychological weapon, subtle, systematic, and devastatingly effective. In this video, we'll break down every major gaslighting technique one by one, because once you can name it, you can finally see it. And once you see it, it can't control you anymore. Technique number 1, the flat-out denial. It starts small. You remember a conversation word for word, but when you bring it up, they look you straight in the eye and say, "That never happened." That's the first cut of gaslighting, flat-out denial. It's simple, powerful, and terrifyingly effective. Because the moment they refuse to acknowledge what you know is true, your brain goes into panic mode. Wait, am I misremembering? And once that seed of doubt is planted, they water it with calm confidence. The more certain they sound, the less certain you feel. The truth doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes, one denial at a time. Studies show our memory becomes more fragile when confronted with confident contradiction, meaning the liar wins not through logic, but through tone. Technique number 2, the bold lie. Sometimes gaslighting doesn't hide behind denial. It hides behind confidence. They'll tell a lie so bold, so precise, you actually pause and think, wait, could I be wrong? Even if you have screenshots, texts, or witnesses, they'll stand there calm, unwavering, and say, that's not what happened. The lie itself isn't what breaks you. It's their certainty. Humans are wired to trust confidence. Our brains assume calm equals truth. That's why bold liars don't argue. They narrate. Psychologists call this the illusion of authority bias, the tendency to believe people who speak like they already know the truth, even when they're wrong. Technique number 3, you're too sensitive. This one hurts the most because it sounds like care, but it isn't. You open up about something that hurt you, maybe a joke, maybe a comment, and instead of listening, they sigh and say, you're too sensitive. That's not comfort. That's dismissal disguised as empathy. Over time, it teaches you to doubt your emotional radar, to feel guilty for feeling at all. And when you stop trusting your own feelings, they don't have to silence you. You'll do it yourself. Emotional invalidation triggers the same stress response as social rejection. Your body literally feels unsafe, even when no one raised their voice. Technique number 4, the trivializer. You tell them something serious, something that really matters to you, and they laugh. Oh, come on, it was just a joke. That's the trivializer. It turns your pain into entertainment, your boundaries into punchlines. It's clever because it sounds harmless. Who wants to argue with humor? But underneath the laugh, there's a message. Your feelings don't matter. Jokes are the perfect disguise, because when you flinch, you look uptight. Neuroscientists found that humor can override emotional alarms in the brain, meaning a funny insult can bypass your defenses faster than a harsh one. Technique number 5, the deflector. You finally work up the courage to confront them. You've rehearsed what to say, gathered the facts, and just as you start, they interrupt. Why are you bringing this up again? That's the deflector. It's not that they don't have an answer, it's that they don't want one. By shifting the focus back onto you, they make the problem about your timing, your tone, your attitude. Suddenly, you're defending your right to even speak. The best way to win an argument is to make sure it never happens. Deflection works because it triggers meta-conversation. You stop discussing the issue and start discussing the discussion itself. That's how accountability quietly disappears. Technique number 6, the withholder. Sometimes, gaslighting doesn't sound like lies. It sounds like nothing. You ask a question, and they stare blankly. You share your feelings, and they say, "I don't know what you mean." That's the withholder, the weapon of silence. Instead of arguing, they withdraw connection. They give you no reaction, no empathy, no closure, until you start chasing for it. And when you do, they call you needy or dramatic. Silence isn't peace, it's pressure. Psychologists call this stonewalling, and studies show it raises cortisol levels just like physical stress. Your body panics, even when the room is quiet. Technique number 7. The projector. This one feels like psychological whiplash. You catch them lying, and somehow you're the liar. You confront their anger, and suddenly you're the one who's always angry. That's the projector. They flip the mirror and hand it to you. It's disorienting because you start defending yourself instead of addressing their behavior. The real issue vanishes, replaced by guilt that doesn't belong to you. When everything is your fault, they never have to change. Projection works because our brains crave fairness. We try to see balance, even when the blame is distorted. That instinct keeps us hooked in circular arguments we can never win. Technique number 8. The forgetter. You remember everything. The conversation, the promise, the argument. But when you bring it up, they tilt their head and say, "I don't remember that." That's the forgetter. A quiet erasure disguised as innocence. The trick is subtle. It's not aggressive denial. It's passive disappearance. Over time, you start questioning your own recall. Maybe I am misremembering. They don't need to rewrite the story if they can convince you it never happened. Cognitive scientists note that repeated memory conflicts lower confidence in recall, meaning even true memories can start to feel false after enough contradiction. Technique number 9. The triangulator. This one doesn't attack you directly. It recruits others to do it. You'll hear things like, "Even your friends think you're overreacting," or, "Everyone says I'm right about this." That's the triangulator. They drag a third person into the story, real or imagined, to isolate you. Suddenly, it's not just one voice against yours, it feels like the whole world. When they can't win the argument, they build an audience. Social psychologists call this consensus manipulation. Our brains crave belonging so deeply that even fake social proof can override our judgment. That's why triangulation feels impossible to fight. Technique number 10. The erosion technique. Gaslighting doesn't always explode. Sometimes it drips, quietly, every day. A sigh when you speak. A smirk when you share an idea. A subtle, "You always mess things up." That's the erosion technique. It's not one big lie. It's 1,000 small ones that chip away at who you are. They don't destroy you in one blow. They sand you down until you forget your shape. Psychologists link this to slow conditioning, a form of emotional wear that lowers self-esteem gradually. So you stay, not because you believe them, but because you no longer believe yourself. Technique number 11. The public mask. They're charming, polite, maybe even admired. Everyone says how lucky you are to have them. But behind closed doors, it's different. The warmth disappears, the kindness fades. You're left wondering how the same person can exist in two worlds. That's the public mask. It's how gaslighters protect their image, by crafting a persona so convincing that no one believes your story. To the world, they play the hero. And in private, they rewrite your sanity. Psychologists call this impression management. It's a defense mechanism rooted in narcissism, where maintaining the perfect image matters more than the people it destroys. Technique number 12. The reverse victim. And finally, the cruelest trick of all. You confront them about the lies, the manipulation, the silence. But instead of guilt, they look wounded and whisper, "I can't believe you'd accuse me of that, after everything I've done for you." That's the reverse victim, the final transformation, where the abuser becomes the one who's hurt, and you become the villain. When they play the victim, your empathy becomes their armor. Therapists see this as emotional inversion, a defense pattern common in narcissistic behavior, where shame is too unbearable to face, so it's handed to someone else. Signs. You're being gaslit. If any of this feels familiar, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're human. Gaslighting doesn't just twist facts. It rewires how you see yourself. Here are the signs it's happening. You start apologizing for things you didn't do. You second-guess your memory even when you're sure. You edit your feelings before you speak. You feel anxious around them, even in silence. And maybe the scariest one, you start believing the version of you that they created. Gaslighting doesn't break you overnight. It convinces you to do it slowly, in their name. Trauma specialists call this identity erosion, a psychological fog where your self-trust dissolves, leaving you dependent on the very person who caused it. How to break the cycle. Breaking free from gaslighting isn't about proving them wrong. It's about remembering what's true for you. Start by writing things down. Every message, every promise, every contradiction. Seeing it on paper reclaims your memory from their manipulation. Talk to someone safe. A friend, a therapist. Anyone who reminds you that your reality still belongs to you. Set boundaries. When they twist your words, don't argue. Restate the truth once, then walk away. You don't need to win. You just need to stay sane. And if you can, leave. Not to punish them, but to protect your peace. The first step out of gaslighting isn't confrontation. It's clarity. Recovery specialists say rebuilding self-trust takes time. But each moment you choose truth over confusion, your nervous system begins to rewire itself towards safety again. Gaslighting steals one thing, your trust in yourself. But the truth is, you never lost it. It was only buried under someone else's version of reality. Every time you write down what happened, every time you speak your truth out loud, you take a piece of that trust back. You're not crazy. You were conditioned to doubt yourself, and now you're unlearning it. The moment you stop defending yourself and start believing yourself, that's when the spell breaks. You deserve to feel grounded in your own mind again. And if this video helped you see even one sign more clearly, remember, clarity is contagious. Pass it on. If this video helped you recognize something real, don't let it stop here. Hit like so the algorithm knows this topic matters, and share it with someone who might still be questioning their reality. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into psychology, emotional healing, and how to protect your mind from subtle manipulation. And tell me in the comments, which part of this video hit you the hardest? Your story might help someone else see the truth a little sooner. Because awareness isn't just knowledge, it's freedom. You can't control what they said, but you can control what you believe next.